What's up, guys? Sub-Zerk here with something pretty special. So I saw Kai tweeted this last night. He was talking about this in our Discord as well. And he was talking about this game of TFT that was played. He said, "No glaze, this might be one of the most interesting and well-played games I've watched the entire set. Even top players can learn a thing or two. Really interesting tempo slams, decision choices, and how he got to his cap was very well executed." And so I read this tweet and I said, I have to VOD review this game. I mean, how could I not VOD review this game? So I'm going in completely blind. I did click into the VOD and I saw a familiar face. This is YBY1, of course, one of the best players in Vietnam, has been to the World Championships before. So this should be it's always a treat watching YBY1. Yandex is the website I use to translate, so I'm just going to translate the portal the second that we get into it, though the translator is a little, it's covered up by this. Well, it's this one. Let me translate this real quick. Vietnamese: gold boots head, according to the translator. Let's see, what icon did it have? Is this like gold, all gold augments or something? I can't see. Oh, it's gold. Oh, gold boots head? Maybe that's just like gold start or something. I guess we'll see. It's something related to gold for sure. Could be gold subscription maybe. Boots head is subscription. That makes perfect sense. But okay, so it's a gold start to some degree. We'll see what it ends up actually being. Didn't look like gold start. Maybe it is gold subscription. We'll see. All right. Start off with Ziggs. Ziggs, fantastic unit in the early game these days with the changes to Honeymancy. I feel like this guy's just a monster if you can get a 3 honey opener. So we'll see what we end up getting as our opener here. Is interesting. I mean, this is already a pretty interesting decision, holding on to Jax plus Jace here with the idea of like this potentially being our opener. Because like if we don't get any more gold dropped here, we almost certainly will, but if we were to not get, like more gold dropped here, there's a world where we would have to sell the rest of our bench and we only get to hold these 2 units if we want to make 10. I'm interested actually. Wow, he really likes Jax and Jace here. Like he prioritizes those as his highest priority units, and yeah, he's even gonna sell off. Like look at this already. This I think is quite interesting already. He's gonna sell off Ziggs pair here to hold on to potentially Lilia. Huh, interesting. I don't actually, so like I guess, yeah, his idea is that he really wants to prioritize either this portal opener or potentially maybe some kind of shapeshifter. I mean, like with the Jax, could be multi-strikers, could be the idea that is because we got dropped a sword, he wants to lean towards stuff that makes it easy to use the sword, like this multi-strikers. And okay, we do still make 10, we make a Jax too. And our opener is looking, I don't know. I mean, it's certainly not bad. We have the 3 portal opener, which is fantastic. We have a Jax too. I don't think we can really contest that hard for win streak. Something like a prize fighter seems quite tough to use. Also, YBY1 using the meta TFT overlay. So very nice by him. He actually rerolls these really quickly. I mean, this augment is quite bad. I forget the name. Worth the wait. Spoils of War tends to be quite good, and Prize Fighter, I know was bugged before. I believe it's okay. The stats actually like it quite a bit as a first augment if you have a good spot for win streak, and you can see when the win rates pop up, it looks pretty good. And so yeah, he's gonna rip the Prize Fighter immediately here. I mean, like I said, I think for YBY1. This is an insane opener, and ooh, these are some cool slams here. Let's go back and look at what he could have potentially slammed here. So there is like an idea of something, if you want to play for AP, you could slam something like a Shojin and a Spark. Shojin I think is a really low prio item these days, just because of the fact that not that many units can use it that well. It's not Karma's best man item. You'd prefer blue buff on her. It's quite bad on Rise, actually, if you look at just any of the statistics. It's kind of a terrible item on Rise, so if you build Shojin, you almost can't play Rise. So I actually quite like these slams. I mean, it's quite interesting. Maybe I would have been, I think I like his slams a lot here. They make a lot of sense in just the context of we took Prize Fighter, we want to win as many fights as possible here. So I think it makes sense. It's just like, these items don't provide a very straightforward path this game. The only unit that would use these 2 items is like a Gwen, and I think there are a lot of Gwen haters out there these days. But yeah, he's also got this soloed frontline Jax here with the idea that with all this AP that he's getting from Crown Guard, he's gonna have a lot of resist and he's just gonna be able to tank through everything, and boom, we stomp this board here. It does look like YBY actually with this Prize Fighter, with these slams, is going to have good odds of keeping streaking. Oh my god, that's an aggressive level up here. Just to get multi-striker in, but I mean, multi-striker obviously a huge upgrade, and obviously getting more prize fire value is big. So I mean, this, like, every time I've VOD review YBY is kind of like I feel like he's kind of like the new Bebe. I feel like, you know, like Bebe back in the day would always make these really, really aggressive plays, and you go, oh my god, like he's actually playing that aggressively, and all these aggressive slams always play for win streak. This is actually a really close fight. If we win this, this is absolutely 100% a level diff. And yeah, wow, I mean, beautiful level by YBY. If we had not leveled here, we absolutely would have lost that fight, lost our streak, lost the ability to stack up prize fighter wins. Like that was a huge level from YBY, and getting multi-striker in, having the vision of the idea that he wants to play towards this portal multi-striker board, which is, he called that from the first orb drop. Literally from the first orb drop, he held on to Jace and to Jax, remember? And then he found Jace 2, Jax 2, and this was his setup. I think, like, actually, if you think about it, I was kind of confused about his like his stage 1, why he was holding on to this Jason Jax when he could be holding on to something like a Soraka pair, like a Ziggs pair. But looking at his board now, it makes perfect sense. He had that sword, which is going to build into that BT, very likely for, it's going to build into some kind of melee item, very likely for Jax. We get Glove open here, so there's like TG as a potential slam if you want to keep streak. Can't pick that up, sadly, so we're looking at Chain Vest here. Or it's tier open, actually. Okay, so Bow? I mean, that would be potentially an acceptable slam. I guess we'll see. What is that? Oh, that's just a minor effect. Okay, that's fine. Or no, that's give you a unit that you fielded last round, I think. No, but it was only 1 gold. I'm actually not sure what charm that was, because if it was a unit that you fielded last round, I thought that was 2 gold, unless they changed that this patch. In any case, we take that there, we pick up a Jax. I think maybe that's what it was, and maybe they just changed it this patch, I don't know. But in any case, we win the fight, continue streak, pick up our free component here. Double Chain Vest here is not amazing. We're almost going to be forced to make... Ooh, that's a cool call out as well. I was gonna say we're almost forced to make a vow, but he opts to just go for the Bramble Vest slam, scouts the lobby. Oh my god, speaking of Bebe level, he's actually going to level here at 2-6, level 6, to try to guarantee this streak, because look at this board that we're fighting here. Galio 2, this is a very, very, very strong board. That's a crazy level, but I mean, Jax almost died in this fight. You could certainly see a world. This fight doesn't look that close because we won it, but it's very swingy, right? If they had killed Jax earlier, it's very plausible that we could have ended up losing that fight. So I kind of like that level a lot from YBY. Again, he's got that prize fighter, so the value of win streaking is absolutely huge. And this is a cool board that he's got here. He's stacking up Pyro. It's going to be hard, I would say, to actually play Pyro from this spot, especially with tier. I think it's most likely that we're going to play around something like a Karma. And he's going to opt to not make gold here. Wow, wait, what are these items? Ooh, Mordekaiser 2. So, ooh, I'm liking this. Yep, the idea is now we have a Mordekaiser 2. He can hold on to these items quite fantastically. Gonna move these items over to Nami. Oh my god. And we also have open slot potentially for Mage. This is such a cool little pivot of his board. Now he's gonna put his items onto... Okay, I can see why Kai was pretty hype about this game. Move the items over to the Mordekaiser and the Nami. Blue buff Shojin slammed immediately here, which is really interesting from an item economy standpoint, just because of the idea that, you know, there aren't too many units that can use blue buff Shojin. The only one is like Vagar. I don't even know if that's like Bis on him anymore. All right, next augment here. We have Prize Fighter, which is kind of combat in that you're getting all of these extra items, though it's not like full combat. The value of Epoch, I feel like, is not that high. I guess you could use it to potentially push 7 this round, but you're already level 6, so it's a lot of gold to push 7. You could, I guess, just push 7 and try to go for that, and maybe that's what we're going to go for here. Unified, another option. The problem is that you'd have to move some units up. It's not the end of the world if you have to. And I mean, it is a solid combat augment. Maybe that's just the best option here. He's stuck between those two options. Wow, I love this from YBY. The really, really diligent scout here, just trying to get a sense for how strong his board is. If, you know, maybe if we skip out on something like a Unified and we end up taking Epoch, can we continue our streak here with upgrades here? Just really, really diligent scouting. And yeah, he's going to take the Epoch here. It's 20 gold to level, quite expensive. He'd love to get a Mage onto this board, and he does have a Seraphine. Ooh, so he's not going to go for the level here. So only 20 gold to level, but this is why that scout was so crucial. Now he's going to opt to actually not level here. He knows that this board, it's only Galio 2, and I mean, the backline is nothing. Galio 2 is nice, but this guy's backline is nothing. They also have Epoch, so they're down a combat augment, so we can, you know, not opt to level this fight. This is another fight where, once again, I think we need to do a scout here and see. He probably has a good idea of how strong the lobby is already, and oh, he just left. So I guess we're not going to do a scout here. But I think, he already scouted the lobby. He must be confident enough that, ooh, we're coming back here. We got 2 seconds to scout. And okay. Yeah, I mean, this guy is, well, not that strong. Hecarim's a broken unit, but Hecarim 1, I think, is going to have a lot of trouble dealing with this Mordekaiser 2, though. This positioning was really scary. The Hecarim just got to walk straight to backline. Also, the Silvermere item on Hecarim, pretty scary. Oh my god. Okay, we just barely win this fight, but that was horrifying. That was a get up and leave. You need to sit in your chair or 1v1. You can't be stunted on these guys so hard. You need to be sitting on your chair. Like, you almost lost that fight, but okay. We have these double mana items built. We have these like mana and like AD frontline items built. Like, I was thinking this was going to be a Karma game, but I still don't know if we play Karma and Gwen, then where's that Shojin going? I mean, I imagine you'd want some kind of damage item here, like a rod. There is also a Nami pair here. Okay, we are going to get the rod here towards some kind of damage item. And like the blue buff Chojin, you know, you could think of like maybe like a Karma Nami game. Like, it's pretty reasonable to play around Nami in this game because we already have the Nami. But the downside to that is then where's this BT going? Is it just sitting on like a Vex the whole game? I mean, that seems really bad. So I'm dizzy here. If I'm watching YBY, I'm not even playing the game here, and I am dizzy trying to figure out what line we're actually going to play here. We also picked up our next prize fighter component, and it was a cloak. So we do have a full spark that could be made. You could even opt to move one of these items off of Mordekaiser. The problem is just they're all so good onto him. And then the other thing is that, yeah, if you end up building that Ionic Spark, that's killing your rod component, which it's your anti-heal if you want to build something like Morello. It's your damage item if you want to build something like an Archangels or a Death Cap if you're playing into something like Rise. It really just depends on what our board ends up actually being. So I'm really curious to see where YBY takes this. This is the final fight here. He is going to make the Spark Slam here because this board actually looks pretty strong. So yeah, he is going to opt to make it onto the Galio here. I mean, over everything is keeping our streak here. So we're going to make that slam. And this is a really, really close fight as well. So it looks like a very smart, a genius slam from YBY. I think he really wanted to not slam that after looking at that fight before, but he's got to keep his streak, right? His streak is so important from an econ perspective and from a prize fighter perspective. So I love that slam. And yeah, it's hard because we might not get another rod this game. If we don't get another rod this game, I don't know what our damage items are going to be. Hopefully, okay, there's a tier, so if we can get to some kind of rod. Yeah, I mean, these items are a bit awkward. There is Guardbreaker, I guess. He's going to go level 8 here using these free Epoch rolls. Like, he gets so much value out of these. There's a Vex for Mage, potentially. There's Amelia, who is fantastic on so many boards. We have a Bard as well. There's Nami 2, who can be our carry for a little while. Ooh. Now, this is a pivot. Look at this. Wow, this is crazy. So he opted to get out of the Mordekaiser to move items over to this Taric here as our main tank. He's throwing BT on the Galio for now just to have it somewhere. The Melio, obviously, a nice addition to the board, is Scholar here and just also giving more of your units items. But yeah, that was interesting that he decided to sell. I don't completely love it, the selling of the Mordekaiser there. He does have a Gwen now, so maybe we can look further in towards like getting these items down. Ooh, okay. It looks like YBY knows what he wants to take here. There are a lot of 5 costs that he can fit on his board, so something like Duo Q looks very reasonable. These augments are also quite bad. Ooh, there's also the option to take teaming up here, get a free support item. This augment is so strong. It's between these two, I guess. Yeah, he is just going to take this though, with the idea that there's so many 5 costs that he can fit on the board. He ends up also getting bows here, so we can make a red buff, and that's heal cut now. He's going to move the Spark to front line and then play the Briar here just as a threat on this board, essentially. And yeah, the Galios kind of has to stay in as mage here. We got to keep this package of 3 mage in here. It's actually a very low synergy board. And ooh, this is an interesting call as well. He's going to move items over to Diana with the idea that Diana's actually going to do better with something like a Crown Guard. She's going to make better usage of the AP, and she's going to get into the enemy backline and work with this Nami. And now we're on a 12 streak here. We're looking at Fast 9. Fast 9 is something that is almost just not talked about anymore, just because it's so hard to do. But I think YBY might actually have a shot at it. He picks up the Swain here and the Zillion, who are fantastic ins on this board. Still keep the 3 mage in, of course. And he had to actually cut the Melio here to fit this stuff in, but it makes sense, right? We want Frost for this Diana that we're playing for. We want Shapeshifter for the Briar here. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm loving how he is flexing around his board, adding units that make sense onto his board. This is another really close fight. I think we might finally lose here. Yeah, just into a Rise with pretty solid items. The Archangel's so nice onto Rise, so we are finally going to lose our streak, but it's okay. 50 gold here, level 8, 82 HP. Got to be pretty happy. We can look at maybe a 5-1 or a 5-2, maybe 5-1, honestly, with those extra rerolls on from Epoch. We'll see. but seems quite reasonable here. I think we're just going to sit at this point. We can maybe roll for Charm. I didn't actually see what Charm that was because it was so quick. Ooh, he's also feeding Briar here. I mean, I think it makes sense. We're so far ahead. It's a little, I would be afraid of feeding Briar here, but I think it makes sense. The fear is just the fact that, like, we need to we need to fast 9. Our board is not that strong right now. The Nami 2 helps a bit, and we're going to kill some units, but we're going to take some bad losses the rest of the stage. And so I would just be afraid of getting really low here by feeding the Briar. But YBY's playing for the win. He says, I don't care about the fact that I'm going to lose a little bit of HP feeding this Briar. I want to play for max cap. I want to play it for the win out here, so I'm going to feed the Briar. And yeah, it makes sense. I'm curious where this board goes in the future, because a lot of these units are kind of mediocre. Swain doesn't do that much on your board, but he's a solid synergy bot. Zillion's a fantastic unit, so I feel like that's going to stay on the board. So I imagine we might actually keep a lot of these combos on our board. We can end up cutting the Vex for a Nora later, and then, potentially getting into Portal or even getting out of Portal, though it's kind of nice to play. We might actually end up keeping a lot of this board here, just fitting like Nora in over Vex, and then you have basically an open slot. Could be like just Morgana as a solid preserver. But yeah, like this would be Portal in, and would tie the board together very, very nicely. And then the idea would be like level 4 Morgana, I guess. I don't really know what else there is. There's Eldritch, I guess, that you could level 4, but I'm not really interested in playing random Eldritch units. Prismatic Orb here is so tough because we need to make a big pivot here. And why? Okay, I saw somebody else do this actually in the Tactician's trials, is that you just don't pick up this Prismatic Orb here, and you just say, okay, I'm going to roll down first. If I pick this up, it's going to take way too much time. I'm going to roll down first, get some of my 2 stars made, get that bench space back, and then open this orb up. I think it makes a decent amount of sense. All right, now I want to slow down for this roll down. We are holding on to Xerath here for a potential. There's Emilio. Ooh, wow, that's a crazy pivot. He's going to move items over to Xerath 1, potentially. That's insane to me. Okay, getting out of the mages now. Gonna get into more of these preserver type board. We also have a random Galio on the board still. We have a Emilio that we've picked up, so Emilio has to come onto the board. There's the Morgana as well for the 4 preserver. Gonna move these items over to Emilio as our item carry, and he needs to grab more space. Yeah, this one is so often support plus, ooh, yeah, okay. I like the Seekers there, and then just lock it for to support your frontline a little bit. And looking at his last couple of items, we have something like an Adaptive Helm maybe, and then a frontline item. Who do we have items open left on? I need to go back here. I need to see who we actually have items open on our board, and I think YBY agrees. Okay, he is going to end up taking this tier here, make Adaptive Redemption. Yeah, we are kind of full on tank items. Ooh, this is a great charm for us, the one that gives our shop all 5 costs, but this is the board that YBY wanted to play for. This is cool. So this is like a fast 9 4 preserver board. We're playing the Xerath just as a Xerath. Also, we're popping these items, ooh, off of Diana and onto Rakan. It makes sense. This Rakan unit is so much of a stronger tank these days with the buffs to him this patch that he's actually a solid tank. So you can put these items onto him. We don't have Diana 2 yet, so we don't really want her to be holding these items. And he's 4 preserver is the big thing, right? He's 4 preserver Rakan. So yeah, but I don't know. I'm interested in so many of the things that we've got going on this board here. Continuing to feed the Briar here, picks the Swain back up. I wonder why he sold the Swain in the first place. I guess he just saw the Nasus and wanted to fit it on the board, but now we get Swain back in. He once again fills those traits out. We don't actually have Bastion on this board. I feel like the obvious addition that you don't have on this board is Bastion, and the Xerath is just here just for the Ascendant charms, actually, which is kind of wild, but I mean, we're so strong that you can maybe make the argument that it makes sense. Ascendant charms allow us to play for really high cap. You could potentially get the one that gives us an artifact and a support anvil, though I don't know how we're gonna potentially buy that with the amount of gold that we're at. But hey, we're 54 HP. We've cleared top 5, and we're looking for our last few items. Who do we have on itemized at this point? Oh, Diana. Diana has an open slot here, so we could just take. It looked like you grabbed second Crown Guard there. For actually, Diana has no items at that point. Yeah, those are all fake Melio items, right? All the items are on Rakan and to the Morgana here. And Morgana got the Seekers. Yeah, I mean, these Morgana items look great. The items look great. I mean, I think YBY has done a fantastic job this game of figuring out where all these items were going to go. That Spark BT that we talked about on 2 completely different units on completely different sides of the board. Melio got the double mana items in the blue buff Shojin here, which makes a lot of sense, right? Melio just cares about getting a lot of cast sauce and fueling your entire board with items. We honestly don't have that many units that need more items at this point. We're also we're waiting for another item from Prize Fighter, and then we can finish off this cloak item. Most of them will be pretty solid onto the Diana here. But I mean, yeah, the board's looking solid. It's interesting, the Xerath just sitting on the board here, getting value out of you know, being a an Ascendant, I think is his trait, where we're getting these potentially better charms. I don't think we've actually picked one up yet, so we should have like pretty high odds of actually finding them. And yeah, his idea eventually, ooh, I don't know if that might have been to deny someone. I didn't actually see at the top there if he's, because like surely he's not pivoting his board back into that kind of stuff. So maybe he's just, yeah, putting those in planner to deny. And yeah, ooh, Nora's gonna come in here. Okay, he opts to call Nora better than Xerath here. I could certainly see that, though we should fit Xerath in during the roll downs for the Ascendant charms because we already spent all this time stacking up the value onto him. We can potentially take a Diana item here. Ooh, there's TG. Okay, TG. Xerath, all right. And there's Xerath too. I mean, he's got an Archangels onto him, so this looks pretty good. Yeah, okay. So we're going to play around the Xerath. I mean, I have seen Xerath actually just as kind of like a carry or a secondary carry do work this patch so far. They made it so that he targets a lot of the like closest units to him now. So it's actually pretty... He's actually kind of a beast. So maybe the idea is just, yeah, Xerath randomly on this board here. I mean, how much damage did Xerath do this fight? 6k. He did pretty good damage. And this is a board that's sorely lacking in damage, honestly. I don't think that Xerath charm does the much. The one that gives you like XP instead, or like makes it cheaper to buy XP or roll. We do find Morgana too, who's going to also help those damage issues. But yeah, we did actually lose that fight too. I didn't even see exactly what the board was. I knew there was a Hecarim on it. Might have just been, yeah, 7 multi-striker. Multi-striker's so strong these days with the buffs to Hecarim. This board looks like light work for us. Yeah, Briar just popping off, killing everybody here. So that's going to be a kill there. And so it's just now between us and that last guy that we lost to 6-3 here. We're getting pretty far into the game here. But we do have very high odds of finding Xerath charms. Continuing to feed the Briar. Rolling here just for a solid combat charm. There's also Diana too, which is huge, and we pick up the tower, which is fantastic. We did also he finally found an Arcana unit to put in, right? Or did he? Because yeah, we have Arcana there. He ended up cutting a Preserver on this board to fit in Arcana. Let's go look back at the board. He did it so quickly. Oh no, he got the bug. He got the tied fight bug, where this fight's gonna count as a tie, even though he absolutely stomped this guy. Oh my god! You can tell he's kind of annoyed by it because like obviously he should be winning this fight. But okay, for some reason, okay, that was really weird. I didn't know that the tie damage was that high. I want to go back and look at our board whenever we can. Is it which Arcana unit did he fit onto this board here? I mean the obvious. But no, it's not. It's Ari. Yeah, the idea is Ari over the Bard. You still get the Scholar for Emilio, but you get Arcana. And this late into the game, even with the nerfs to Xerath, we're still getting solid damage out of the Xerath charm. So yeah, this is his idea of max cap. Get out of the 4 Preserver, play around the Ari here just for 2 Arcana on this final board. It makes sense. All right. Our Arcana is tanking here. Hopefully there's not another bug here. Our board looked really, really strong against this guy last time once we finally got to the max cap of hitting everything 2-star. And yeah, it is light work and easy. Well, it was hard fought and a lot of stuff happened this game, but a very well played win from YBY1. Okay, shoutouts to Kai. I think this was a good call on a game to VOD review. He clicks out of his thing so fast. I always want to show you guys like the final board, but here's the final board that he ended up on. But yeah, a really, really fantastic game. I love how he played this game. It was a classic YBY1 game, and yeah, I mean this was dope. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitter and all my other links down below. Thank you guys for watching.